Hi, everyone, and welcome back to our Spotlight series. This is Melissa Katherine. I'm so excited. I have one of my favorite people here today. This is Katherine. What's up, Katherine?
I'm just fine, thank you.
So Katherine's just coming off of one of our Weight Loss for Life retreats, and she just has had amazing success. And there's been certain things that have really shown up for her. And as much as I know you can hear from me, all of the things that I did in my own journey, it's really powerful to hear from women just like you that started off in one place and are now in the other, and hearing what's working for them and what really spoke to them, because there's all different facets of different things that I speak to, that I teach. And certain points will speak to you and others won't. And so Katherine's going to share with you today some of the things that really showed up for her. So I would love, Katherine, if you could just share, where were you, 8 months ago before the program? What was kind of going on with you and food and your body?
I started on a journey to deal with binge eating about 4 years ago now. Yeah. And I went through Overeaters Anonymous, went through the 12-step, and then realized I needed something a little bit more and started looking at various different programs online. And some of them were helpful and some of them not so helpful. But I had a lot of information about diets, what I should eat. I knew what I should eat. The problem was that when emotional things would come up, I would go, what the heck, I'm going to eat anyway. So I really needed something to kind of bring together all of it I'd been learning and put it into a framework where I could actually make use of it and be able to actually live out what I knew rather than just reacting to the emotions.
Okay, so essentially you were saying that you had done Overeaters Anonymous. You really recognized that binging was a pattern, and you did some programs, and there were amazing information and things that you came in, but the real underlying thing was that you were still eating your emotions when you didn't want to. Is that right?
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
Okay. And so I know you came into Weight Loss for Life and you had done so many programs and different things. So what was that turning point for you? What did? Well, let me ask you, where are you now?
Yeah. I am in just a really good space right now. I feel like I have just cleared out all the debris of the past. I've dealt with so many different issues. Excuse me. Robocalls.
You have to love technology. There's so many like dings and things constantly going on. It's always like, what's happening?
So I feel like now I have I've cleared out all the things that were bothering me. I've learned how to deal with the negative emotions. I've managed to do a lot of healing and forgiveness and just coping with the things that before had been triggers for me. And so I have just not had the urge to binge in quite a while now. And I am just feeling so free and full of light and like I'm going to spread my wings any minute now and take off.
And what is your relationship like to yourself now? So what was your relationship like to yourself before, and what's that like now? Because the reason why I put such an emphasis on that is when we're dieters, we're really not separate. We're in such separation from self. And there's such a beating down that we have. That negative voice is so loud, and the lack of love, even though I know myself, I was like, no, I love me. And when I really got down to it and started noticing the voice, I was like, wow, I really don't. That voice is loud and she's got a lot to say. What is that relationship like from when you started to now?
When we started doing, looking in the mirror and saying, I love you, I practically choked on the words. It's like, that is not true. That's a big lie. I don't love you. And I lived that out with other people. I was afraid to put myself out there because I was convinced that if anybody really knew me, they'd have the same opinion I did. I don't love you.
Yeah, like if you see the real me, you won't like what you see.
That's exactly it. And I was the only one that could see the real me, and I didn't like me. It's been an amazing journey to be able to go from that to being able to say, I am a good person. I'm a great person. I really do love and appreciate myself. And that's just been an amazing transformation.
Yeah, I mean, this woman was like roaming around the retreat, just like a little ball of light. You know, everyone was like, "Where's Katherine?" You know, just the happiest, just so at peace. There was just a peacefulness and a lightness and a happiness. So
Yeah.
I would love if you could share, because I know there's other women sitting there going, because I know you had doubts about this program, and it's not even, you know, so much about the program, but I would love if you could share, because I do know there's other women going like, I've tried everything. You know, I've done all the things and I'm still struggling. Like I've been through OA, like I'm still binging. And what's wrong with me? Because you feel broken in a way. Like, what is it that I'm not getting? You know? So I would love to know if you could share just 1 to 3 things that really spoke to you. I know you mentioned mirror work that really shifted.
Yeah.
Are there other tools you learned in the program that spoke to you that you could share?
Yeah. And I must say, in the things that you teach, it's not that I was finding, brand new things.
Yeah.
It was more that everything was put together in an orderly fashion so that one thing led kind of naturally into another thing. So, you know, as one area started to grow, then you'd start feeding us in with another area. And it was just a wonderful logical progression of how to take all the things that are floating around in the universe and apply them one after another, one after another. I think the things that had the biggest impact, the first one is mirror work. The second one is the exercise where we looked at what would you want to be doing if you only had a year to live. And just really going through in depth. If you have a year left to live, what would you do? What would you be? How would you structure your days? How would you structure your months? And it really just gave me the courage to start doing those things. I built myself a garden. I have 2 special trips planned for next year. Just the courage to take the steps and not to be overthinking and, I have to research that for another 10 years before I can actually do it.
Yeah, that is so powerful. I'm living that now. You know, if I had a year left to live, what would I do? I mean, I was telling you guys, I just did, I read poetry, then I did stand-up comedy. I got a guitar. I'm taking singing lessons. Like, I'm doing all these things. So wait, what am I waiting for? You know, so it's really cool that we all did that as a community. And I love that you took that on and you've made that your own. So you said the mirror work, if I had a year left to live, and then it was really the progression of the program, the way that it was formulated, that supported you in your transformation.
I think the other thing also was going back and doing some of the inner child and the shadow work of unearthing some of the really old things, the old chains that I was wearing. Because there were a lot of things that I was just wearing an old chain that was holding me down. And to be able to go back, to look at that, to acknowledge, that happened. Now, where do I go on from here? And to be able to just toss them out.
Yes. Well, that's the thing, right? Because I know everybody wants the magic pill. Everybody wants the quick fix. They just want to if I just eat this and I move that way, and we've all done that, right? And then we kind of go, okay, but those little gremlin guys, I mean, anything that isn't healed will keep coming up again. And
Yes.
you'll end up reliving it, and whether you shove it down more with more food or negative self-talk, but you'll keep going in that pattern. So the fact that you are the courageous one that said yes to this program, and said yes to actually saying yes to that module and going through and doing those things, because that's the stuff nobody ever wants to do. Nobody wants to keep like look back, right? And but what the cool thing is, nobody wants to look back because they're like, they think there's going to be so much pain, or why would I'm feeling good today, why would I want to go to that place, or you know, I'm afraid that if I start crying I won't stop, right? Like and I always say to people, the pain that you're living in each day by not going there is giving you decades of dieting and feeling less than, as opposed to taking the hour, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, because sometimes those things are there and they're ready to just go. We just actually need to acknowledge them. And then you're like, oh, I'm sad about that. You have like 5 minutes of tears, and then you're like, wow, I feel great. You know, so it's sometimes those things are just really ready, but they just need to be acknowledged. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So, and then the mirror work. So guys, for everybody listening, mirror work is essentially you standing in front of the mirror and you say, I love you. You're perfect exactly as you are. I love this body. I love my eyes. And it's actually having to take the time to look at yourself, because especially when we're dieters, I mean, you could go years of getting dressed and not really ever looking at you, except in the bathroom mirror from here up, right? And so not acknowledging you is rejecting you. So the mirror work is so powerful because it's going, no, I deserve to be seen first and foremost by myself. And I acknowledge you and I love you for all you've done for me, right? And it brings in the love for oneself in a way like no other. Louise Hay taught me that, and it's something that I will always attribute to her and have everybody I know do. It's free, and it is life. It will transform your relationship with yourself. Right, Katherine?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so easy, you want to run from it.
You have to keep doing it for quite a long time. It's so easy to say, well, you know, I did that for a week and it didn't work.
Yeah.
You really have to do it for a couple months to really, if you're hard-headed like I am.
Well, remember you asked me, you were like, I don't know if it's working. And I was like, keep doing it. I'm like, I had to do it for like 4 months. And then one day I walked by the mirror and I was like, I'm beautiful. And I was like, wait a minute, what? You know, because at first, I mean, I couldn't look at myself and say, I love you exactly as you are. And then I went through that's such a lie, you know, and then it's like, no, you keep saying it. And then soon you're your biggest fan. So beautiful. Thank you for sharing all of these amazing tips, and for being a part of this community and helping the women, because I know that there's thousands of women listening right now that are like, yes, you know, that's where I am. And, you know, you're showing them it's possible to get to the other side, and it doesn't take a decade, you know, just takes time. It takes that commitment. It's not a magic pill, but 8 months later, and look at you right now.
Yeah, I must confess that when I first got the price tag, it was like, oh, but you know, it's like living it's like being a little tiny struggling plant being put in a hothouse and getting all the nourishment, all the warmth, all the sunlight, everything concentrated, and the growth is just phenomenal. It really is. It's like what I could have expected over, you know, 10 or 15 years if I really worked at it for that long.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what I always prayed to create. So that's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, I always said I want to create something that I couldn't find. That took me 10 years to do. So I'm really glad that you said that, because I was like, okay, let's condense this into 9 months. It's a rebirthing. And so thank you. You're such a testament to it. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for being an inspiration, and for helping to help so many other women that are just like you. So thank you so much. And just for everybody listening, if I can do it, and Katherine can do it, so can you. So take on these 3 things that really 4 things about today, and start putting them into practice. And if you do just the mirror work alone, trust me, it will change you. Okay. Thank you for being here, and I will see you at the next Spotlight interview.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Hold on 1 second.